So what do you do with all that squash you picked out of your garden? Well, I have a solution, a very good one. Squash dressing with chicken. If you and your family love squash, then you need this recipe in your recipe box. And I can't wait to show you so you can make it for your family right here on Darlene's Table. Good morning. This is going to be squash dressing today. If you have a lot of squash in your garden, here's another way to use it. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely delicious. You're going to love it. It will take about 2.5 to 3 pounds of raw squash to make 5 cups of cooked squash. Now, you don't want your slices to be more than about 1/4 inch thick. And then if there are large pieces left, you can see I just used a wooden paddle and mashed them in smaller pieces. So you are going to drain this, 5 cups of cooked squash. All right, I poured out the juice from the squash, I added butter, and now I'm adding the celery, bell pepper, and onion, along with 1 cup of green onion. This time we do want the butter and additional juices saved to go into the dressing. The recipe calls for Jiffy, 2 boxes of Jiffy cornbread mix. Well, I'd never used cornbread mixes, so I decided I'd make my own cornbread like I do at Thanksgiving to make dressing. And you know what? We didn't like it as much. This particular recipe tastes better with the Jiffy cornbread. So here we are. So what we're gonna do, I cooked a little earlier this morning. It was 2 boxes. I'm gonna mash it up just like you would if you were making regular dressing. Now I'm gonna add the bell peppers, onions, celery, and green onion, along with all the butter and juices that were in there. Next, I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. The original recipe does not call for this, but we liked it in there, just like when you make cornbread dressing. And next will be 1 can. I'm using cream of chicken with herbs soup. Listen, my cousin gave me this recipe, and she got it from her sister-in-law, my cousin Linda in Weimar. And when she made it and told us about it, we thought, oh, I don't know about that. Squash dressing. It was delicious. We love it, and I make it on a regular basis now. I have 1 cup of milk. I'm gonna mix 1 egg with that. I'm gonna add the squash. 5 cups of cooked squash, yellow squash. And now I've got 6 cups of chicken. I used a rotisserie deli chicken with the white and dark meat. I've got 1.5 cups of white cheddar that I shredded myself. I love Tillamook cheddar. And we're gonna mix this real well in here too. Again, the recipe calls for putting it on top. We didn't like that. It adds a great taste to it, and you don't really see a gooey cheese after it's baked. Okay, I'm gonna add just 1/2 cup of chicken broth. Make sure it's plenty moist so when it bakes, nothing dries out. I think that's mixed well. Add salt and pepper to taste. You can divide this recipe in half with ingredients, and that's what I do when it's just my husband and I. And it makes an 8 by 8 dish. Ready for the oven. This was baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. Oh, this looks so good. Chicken and squash blended with onions, bell peppers, herbs, and spices make this a fantastic casserole your family will enjoy. Not just for one of the major holidays, but throughout the year. And as a bonus, it's a wonderful way to ensure your family gets a healthy serving of vegetables. Anyway, we hope to see you again soon on Darlene's Table. Have a blessed day.